I graduated Chapman 2018, and my degree was business entrepreneurship and a minor in leadership. So, Confectious Pastry Shop started out of my home, I want to say in 2014. I'd gone to the Culinary Institute of America, Napa Valley, and studied baking and pastry there, and kind of fell in love with just like the overall art and passion of baking. And then it kind of transpired into, can you do birthdays? Can you do weddings? Can you do corporate events? And so I quickly jumped into that. And I was going to Saddleback College, which was a community college at the time where I lived in Orange County. And someone said, you should take this further and go to Chapman. They have an amazing business program that could really elevate your business. So I quickly jumped on that bandwagon too. And glad I did, because each class I took at Chapman, they kind of elevated my business at the time. So even though I was still doing it at home, I was able to implement like marketing, finance, leadership tools, and kind of elevate the business and the website too. So it quickly grew, and it was a great experience. So the Leatherby Center was super helpful after I graduated Chapman, I think it was kind of like a gift from Professor Aguas and Professor Leon. They had talked about it and said, why don't you come in, check it out. This center is really open to students that are at Chapman and graduate students, and you can utilize all the resources there. So the Leatherby Center not only provided tools, but it kind of kept me in a routine and a schedule, because once you graduate and you're an entrepreneur, it's really hard to stay on a schedule. Like, my schedule is always changing and I'm still trying to figure it out. And I graduated 6 years ago. So it's like, you have to stay disciplined. And so the Leatherby Center kind of provided an office hours. I could come in, talk to students, kind of brainstorm with them too. So that was very helpful. And then Professor Aguas also had me come in and speak to his class about one of their big projects that they have at the end of the year. And so I kind of got to experience that with them and bounce off new ideas. And, as an entrepreneur, that's always helpful. So the classes I took at the entrepreneurship program that were super helpful for me was actually the entrepreneurship class. And I think you get to that in your fourth year. And I took that with Professor Aguas, who introduced me to the Leatherby Center. But some of the projects that we did in class were super hands-on. So we'd study a case, kind of study the business, see what they were doing, and then create our own business. So we created like a mock-up business. And the mock-up business that I created was called Nick Snacks. So it was a dessert snack, like a healthy dessert snack. And then at the end of the semester, we'd present it. All the students got to try the dessert, which was kind of fun. So I would say that was probably the most helpful class. So Confectious Pastry Shop, since it started out of my home and at a young age, it was, very easy to kind of get started. I just had social media, and I lived at home, so I didn't have overhead. And I think because I started so young and I kept going with it, and it had the business in itself, when you're doing bakery stuff from home, it has small startup costs. Business insurance is pretty affordable, a couple hundred. You want to start a website. You just need some products to showcase, to make and to showcase and show that on social media. So overall, funding wise, I knew I didn't need a lot. Yeah. So I would say networking in general with a business is going to be super important, right? Because you're going to be wanting to not only meet clients, but meet people that will help you grow, and hear their stories and how they're growing. So I personally started networking right after I got out of college. I graduated, and I kind of got thrown into a situation that I wouldn't have chosen. It was a great opportunity and I'm glad I did it, but it was something that like someone had to push me to do. So if you're not really comfortable with being super social and networking, you just kind of have to get over it. You have to do it. You'll love it at the end. And you'll meet some great people along the way, but I think it's super important. Some advice I would have for a new entrepreneur is start as early as you can. Even if you have an idea, you don't have to share that with everyone. You can kind of have it put in the back of your head and pick away at it. As time goes on, you're going to meet new people in your life that will, either help you or hurt you, and you kind of have to identify which is which.